All right. Hello, everyone. I am super excited to be here with my friend Jaidyn. Jaidyn and I actually met for coffee, and we were talking all things real estate and mortgages. And I was like, this information is so important for people to have access to. So I asked her if she would join me on a Facebook Live to share some of the information that we were discussing during our coffee chat, which was super great. So Jaidyn, before we kind of dive into the questions that I was hoping that you could share with our audience, do you mind sharing a little bit about who you are, a little bit about your family, and what brought you into the mortgage industry?
For sure. My name is Jaidyn Whale. I'm a mortgage broker. I've been in the mortgage industry for about 11 years now. Um, I actually ended up in the mortgage industry like by sheer fluke. My baseball coach, he was a financial advisor, and I thought that that was this path I wanted to take. So I asked him if I could have him as a mentor, and it led me to mortgages. I am a mom of two kids, almost a year. I'm going to say 12 months because I'm not quite ready to say that he's hitting that milestone yet. And my daughter will be 2.5 months in, or 2.5 years in May.
That's awesome. And it's the busy mom stage. So there's a lot of people watching who totally understand how crazy that is. And to be professional on top of that, which I think is so incredible, that you are helping so many clients, and also that being a mom of young ones as well. So there were a few parts of our conversations during our coffee date that I really stood out to me that again I felt was really valuable. So we're going to dive into those now together. And the first thing I was hoping you could share around was when it comes to first time mortgages or renewals, what advice around income do you have? And I know we talked about this, like what incomes are we allowed to use when it comes to our mortgages, whether it being new or a renewal?
So that is a great question. We can use, besides your everyday employment income, we can use child tax credit, child support, maybe alimony if you get that, rental income if you own other properties. And honestly, it is a lot better if you just provide me with everything you have coming in so that I can determine or not whether or not it is useful. Because even $100 a month might make a difference in whether, you can buy today or have to wait a couple months to get where you want to go. And I just prefer not to leave that left out.
Absolutely. What a smart piece of advice to encourage everybody to kind of gather that information so that when they sit down to have a meeting with their mortgage broker, they've already got all of that income gathered. Now, another question, something that we discussed during our coffee was, and I'm no longer in this stage, I'm not in the, growing our family stage, our kids are a little bit older, but I know lots of buyers are, and they have questions or concerns around, being on maternity leave or parental leave. How does that impact approvals for mortgages? Like, what advice do you have around that?
That's another great question because a lot of people don't realize that we can use your everyday income up to like 18 months. We can only use 60% of your income. But when you're in that 12 months of returning, then we can use 100%. Again, it's a good thing that if you do want to start looking, then we can play with both numbers and see maybe 60% of your income does get you into the house you want, or maybe we have to wait a little longer till we get to that 12 months of returning and we can use 100%. But either way, it's good to run the numbers and the scenarios so that you know where you are now and where you could be.
I love that. I think it's so important. Like what I'm hearing in this too is start the conversation with your mortgage broker in advance so that you have all the information and you know what your parameters are going to be. So, what about side business income? And obviously, I'm a huge advocate of families having side businesses because it is a really great way to add income to the household. Is that income usable towards mortgages?
So the fast answer is yes. If it is claimed income, then yes, we can use it. If you're not claiming it, unfortunately, it is hard to use because the lenders do want to see that It is consistent. And that also goes to the fact that we do need a 2-year average, just because they want to see it is coming in and they can count on it, as well as you can count on it. And in the scenario where, maybe you're only making $300 a month and you're claiming, $3,600 a year, then that can add up to $18,000 in buying power, which in the grand scheme of things may not seem like a lot, but maybe that's what gets you into your dream home. Or maybe that's what helps you win the bidding war on your dream home, or the home you need for now. And again, it's just always good to see where we can land in that.
So smart. So definitely claim it, make sure that, it's consistent, and then you'll be able to use it, which is awesome. I know we've used that income in our family as well. So last question, and I thought, your answer to this was so interesting and I wanted to share is, do clients have to pay for your services, or is it something that can be covered for them?
So in most scenarios, when like using a traditional financing, everyday banks, what have you, there is no fee. And I do try to avoid that, obviously, if possible, because, no one wants to have to pay me. There are some instances where the borrower is in charge of the fee. And in those scenarios, like sometimes self-employed people have back taxes we have to pay before a bank will consider them. Or maybe you have a renovation that you fell short on and you need, a little bit more just to finish it so that a bank will look at your house as complete. So in those scenarios, the borrower is responsible for the fee. However, you are made aware of that prior to, signing anything. And as well, like, oh, I forgot where I was going. Sorry.
That's okay. So the borrower, so like if the house isn't finished, or if, there's self-employed income, there can be instances where the borrower might have to pay for the mortgage brokerage fees. But I think what's important to understand here is that when you are working with a broker, you have buying power, right? Like you have the opportunity to shop around. Is that kind of important for people to understand?
And maybe, you're looking for a refinance and we're trying to get a better rate, but maybe it's better for you to go on the private side of things for 6 months so that you're keeping that, 1% rate you got 4 years ago, and finishing the basement apartment that, your in-laws are going to move into, or what have you. And again, like in 99% of cases, I can add that fee to the mortgage so that you're not out of pocket. Because I don't want that to be the determining factor either.
I love that. And I love that you mentioned that there's different lending opportunities. So, if you've gone to your bank, or maybe you haven't gone to your bank, you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm up for renewal this year, what do I do? Or you want to get into the home buying market and you're just not sure that you're even capable. Really, your mortgage broker is your first step, and you want to do that with a little bit of notice so that you know what you're going to be walking into. And as Jaidyn shared, that can be covered in most cases. 99% of the time it's covered. If not, you're going to know in advance and be able to build that into your budget anyways, right? So Jaidyn, thank you so much for coming on. I know life is busy and you have a very successful business, and that's partly why we connected and got along so well. So how can people get in touch with you if they have some mortgage questions or would like to talk to you about your services? What is the best way for them to reach out?
So you can send me a message on Facebook. Just look for Jaidyn Whale, Jaidyn. Or you can send me an email at Jaidyn, Jaidyn, at themortgagecoach.ca. Or send me a text or give me a call, and I'll make sure we have that number provided for you.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll add that. We'll definitely add your number and all the information into the notes of this short video. So if you want to ask Jaidyn questions, maybe you're on maternity leave, or you've got some self-employed income, or you just need to get a plan in place, then she is awesome. She's super smart. I enjoyed our coffee. That's why we're live on Facebook. For those of you who might not know who I am, my name is Alisa Herriman, and I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams Experience Realty. My goal is to support you in buying or selling in Simcoe North. I I love referrals. I work very, very hard for my clients. And if you have any questions or real estate needs, feel free to reach out directly. I am here to help you. So thank you so much, Jaidyn, for taking the time to answer those questions. Those are important questions, and you gave some really great answers. And for everyone else, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.